Good morning, good afternoon, and or good evening. Today we're going to be opening up 2 packs of Gatewatch. I realize that's a lot less than I have been opening up, but hopefully we'll still get some good cards. We're going to be seeing new cards from Oath of the Gatewatch, and I'll be doing my commentary on what those cards can do. We'll start with Jace, and I believe the air conditioner is about to kick on again. Let's see, another Slip Through Space. Wow, keep starting with those. Brute Strength. Brute Strength is interesting because, unlike Titan Strength, this gives it Trample, which can help deal a lot more damage. Helps with anything that has a combat damage trigger, of course. You don't get the Scry ability, though, and it was printed at the same time that Titan Strength is in Standard, so I can understand it has to have that extra colorless mana. But it is a decent card, especially with, look at it this way. 3 mana, you're going to get 3 damage dealt from one of your creatures to a blocking creature, or some damage is going to trample over and hit your opponent. So it's actually a decent card in Sly or mono red decks. Imagine it with Monastery Swiftspear. You play Titan Strength and you use it like you would a Lightning Bolt to deal extra damage with a creature that gets through, or to kill something that blocked one of your creatures, and then use this as Incinerate, dealing 3 damage again, or giving you an extra effect. And because it's a spell, it would trigger Prowess. So it is a decent card. Again, look at Titan Strength as Lightning Bolt, and look at this as Incinerate. Let's see, that's white, blue, black, red, green. Core Scythemaster. As long as it's attacking, it has First Strike. It's a 3/1 for 3. Zulaport Chainmage has Cohort. Tap and untap ally you control. Target opponent loses 2 life. Again, these are best with Vigilance. So an ally deck with the ability to give all your creatures Vigilance works, because then you can wait on your opponent's turn to activate their ability, or wait until after you've blocked to activate their abilities. Saddleback Lagic? Oh well. 4 mana for 3/1. When it enters the battlefield, support 2, which means you choose 2 other creatures in play and put them a +1/+1 counter on each of them. So put 1 on that and 1 on that. It's not an ally lizard, though. For all we know, it could be working with the Eldrazi. Core Sky Climber. 3 mana for 3/2, and for 1/1 white you can gain flying till end of turn. Not bad. 3 mana for 3/2 is pretty good. We're getting into the point where Grizzly Bears are now, it's that effect. 3 mana, you can get 3 power out of that pretty easily. 3 mana here, 3 mana here. And being able to give flying all of a sudden isn't too bad of a trick. Next card is Oblivion Strike. Devoid, exile target creature, sorcery speed, 4 mana. Black got a lot of good cards that can exile. It's not as good as Guild, but you don't get any mana out of it. But it's still not too bad. So, that's a decent card to play in Pauper or Pauper Commander. Next card, Boulder Salvo. Okay. I actually heard a lot of things about how people don't like this card, but one of the things you have to consider is that we have 0-cost artifacts in Standard that we can play. So being able to do a turn 2 Boulder Salvo is actually pretty strong, or just for 2 mana Boulder Salvo to kill something is actually pretty good in Standard. I could see playing Bonesaw in a red deck wins type or Sly deck, because you just toss it out there, then Boulder Salvo something, and then swing out with your creatures. That's still pretty good. And of course, since you're playing Sly, you're going to have mana. You're going to have lots of mana left over. If you're playing it right, you're going to be tapping out exactly what you need. And if you get to the point where you have to pay the 5 mana to deal the 4 damage, that's still not too bad, because early game you're going to be casting it for the 1/1 red. Late game, casting it 5 for 4 damage, that's fine. It might be the only spell you have, but it kills something. Something that you might not be able to do 4 damage to otherwise. Granted, Brute Strength is still in the set. In Limited, Boulder Salvo's an okay card. It does remove cards. It does remove creatures. Holdout Settlement. I actually like this card. It's not quite like Thran Quarry, where you have to have a creature or you sacrifice it. It taps for colorless when it comes into play. And then just being able to tap and untap creature control, perfectly fine. Tap an Eldrazi Sign and then sacrifice it, and that's 2 mana. Whatever you need to do, you know? It's a good card. Very good. Should find its way into a lot of decks, and it's common. Normally that would be an uncommon card. Blinding Drone, 2 mana for 1/3, Devoid, 1 cost mana, tap target creature. Blue is getting this ability again, and I think that's fantastic. 3 toughness for 2 mana. That's pretty good. Another card that goes into the Assault Formation deck. Should be into uncommons. Yeah. Embodiment of Fury. 4 mana for 4/3. Trample. Land creatures you control have trample. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you may have target land you control become a 3/3 elemental creature with haste until end of turn. It's still land. So, 4th turn, you have another land in your or any turn you have an extra land in your hand, cast this, play the land, swing for an extra 3 damage. Incredible. I hope when we return to Zendikar again, there are more embodiments around, because I want to see red having... I want to see every color having one of these kind of creatures. Seriously. Joraga Auxiliary. Elf, Soldier Ally. Green-white elves. That's a thing. Let's see. It's a 2/3 for 3. But you can support each time. So you can pay 6 mana, 4, 1 green and 1 white, and support 2. You can put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. So, not counting it, you can pump up other tokens that you're playing. It's not quite like the populate ability of the Return to Ravnica green-white creature, but it's not bad. It's still a thing. So we'll put multicolor right here, make a spot. Yeah. All right. Unity. Well, no, I've got that. Unity of Purpose, support 2. I talked about this in the last video. Support 2, counter there, and then you untap each creature you control with a counter. Great with cards that tap for multiple manas. Yeah, let's just move right to Kozilek. Let's just set these out. Forest and an elemental. Cool. And Kozilek, the Great Distortion. This is actually my second Kozilek, the Great Distortion. I got one at the pre-release and put it in my deck. I didn't get to cast it, but still. 8 generic mana and 2, specifically colorless mana, for a 12/12 legendary Eldrazi. When you cast Kozilek, the Great Distortion, if you have fewer than 7 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference. He has Menace. And you can discard a card with converted mana cost of X, counter target spell with converted mana cost X. Wow. Wow. What can I say? I love Kozilek. I'm going to build a new Kozilek deck with this as the commander. Wow. I'm going to play the other Kozilek in the deck, but again, the other interesting is this is, well, every way you look at it, it's great because it's a cast trigger, so when you cast it, you draw up to 7 cards to your hand, no matter what, unless they stifle that. But they're not going to counter your spell. They can't counter you drawing those cards. Excellent ability, being able to, in a colorless deck, being able to counter spells is fantastic. Worthwhile to play him as the commander. Again, great card. Let's see what's in this pack. Comparative Analysis, Support Surge, and target player draws 2 cards. Interesting. Instant Speed, being able to do that, I can see where that's pretty good. 4 mana for 2 cards at instant speed already exists. 2 and 1 blue at instant speed, draw 2 cards, doesn't exist, but as a surge cost it works. Eldrazi Aggressor, 2/3 for 3 devoid. Has haste as long as you control another a colorless creature. Red doesn't necessarily need that 3rd toughness, so this could have been a 1/1 colorless for 2/2 with the ability, and it probably would have been a little bit better. Still not a bad card and limited. Scythe Master again. Lead by Example. Again, I had that in the last video. Corpse Churn, had that in the last video. Boulder Salvo, there's another one of those. Holdout Settlement, 2 of those. This would be great packs to have. Oop. Blinding Drone, another one of those. Interesting. We're getting similar cards. Kozilek's Pathfinder, 6 mana for 5/5, and you can pay colorless to have a creature be unable to block, specifically Kozilek's Pathfinder. Interesting. Tajiru Path Warden. You know how I feel about this card. This is an excellent card. 5 mana for 5/4, Vigilance, and Trample. It's incredible. It's got 4 toughness that puts it out of range for a lot of damage that can be dealt to it. 5 mana for 5/4. That's pretty good power and toughness, but it also has Vigilance, so you can attack with it and hold it back to block. I love this card. That's such a good card. Grasp of Darkness. This is also a good card. This would kill that card, but this this is a really good card to get in limited if you're playing enough black mana to get it out and use it. Obviously, if you want black-green, you'll have an easier way of getting exactly the mana you need. Step Glider. Oh, that's an uncommon. There we go. Step Glider. Let's see. Flying Vigilance. When white target creature with a +1 must encounter it, on it gains flying and vigilance until end of turn. Interesting card. And it's an elemental. 1, 2, 3. So this is our rare. Oh, we've got a foil. Alright, so our rare card is Weapon. No, this is an uncommon. Weapons Trainer. 1 red and 1 colorless. 3/2. 2 mana for 3/2. Pretty good. Other creatures you control get +1/+0 as long as you control an equipment. Well, with Bonesaw, other creatures are going to get +1/+0. This is a really fun, very fast card. Very combat oriented. The land card is a mountain. Token is a plant token. This is the original plant token from Zendikar Block. And Seagate Wreckage. Oh, that's a really nice card. This is going in the Kozilek deck. Alright, Seagate Wreckage. It is a land. It taps for colorless mana. And for 2 and 1 colorless, you can tap and draw a card. Now, you can only activate this ability if you have no cards in hand. But if you have, for some reason, multiple copies of this, each time you can activate them in succession before they resolve, so long as you're activating it with no cards in hand. Each one will resolve, and you will draw a card for each of them. But just in general, being able to put a card in your hand is excellent. It's like a reverse Library of Alexandria, where you get to draw a card if you have exactly 7. This is you get to draw a card if you have none. But it's a really good card. I expect this to be a highly sought after card for Commander, because being able to empty your hand is not difficult in Commander. And of course, with Kozilek, if I wanted to, well, that's the other thing is you have to target the spell that has converted mana cost X. So you have to know what you're targeting. So you can't just dump your hand with Kozilek the Great Distortion. But in Commander, I have a lot of other ways. You can play Null Brooch to discard your hand to counter a spell, a non-creature spell, and then you Seagate Wreckage to put another card in your hand before you draw on your turn. Again, Seagate Wreckage, excellent card. Kozilek the Great Distortion, excellent card. This was a fantastic couple of packs. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you're having a wonderful morning, a wonderful afternoon, or a wonderful evening. And I hope tomorrow's even better. Take care, everyone.